As police clear streets one by one, truckers in Ottawa have their resolve tested and they're holding strong. Here's One America's Sam Volk with the latest from Canada's Freedom Convoy.
The Freedom Convoy has a dance party as police close in on the protesters in Ottawa demanding one simple thing: freedom from COVID mandates and segregation. Into the early hours Sunday, Canadians continued to gather in peace in their nation's capital as police began trying to break up the protests. Police have escalated their efforts to stop the truckers, trampling people on horse-mounted police and lobbing tear gas at the otherwise peaceful crowd. Ottawa Interim Police Chief Steve Bell said such actions were necessary against the crowd and their dance parties, jacuzzis, and bouncy castles.
At every step, they faced a barrage of resistance, shoving, and vitriol. We all saw that the protesters were aggressive with the officers, and we needed to use horses at one point. As a result, we responded this morning by adding helmets and batons to our equipment for the safety of our officers.
Police have gone street by street trying to clear them out, smashing windows of trucks and arresting anybody standing in their way. They have used force against protesters, beating individuals with batons and pepper spraying the crowds. Bell has said that the protesters have been warned for days on end that the government is against them and will use force to break them up.
What I will also say is, we have been here for 3 weeks. I have been at this podium for the last 5 days, imploring people to leave, asking them to get out of our streets. This occupation is over. We have advised them that if they peacefully leave, they may go home.
While Bell is a gracious enough chief to let peaceful protesters go home without arrest if they follow his orders now, that doesn't mean his involvement in their personal lives will end. Far from it, in fact, as Bell, alongside Finance Minister and World Economic Forum Board of Trustee member Chrystia Freeland, are threatening to use investigative powers granted by the Emergencies Act to target protesters. Freeland is freezing bank accounts of those simply accused of being involved in the protests, and remains boastful that her emergency powers will be made permanent. Bell has said that the investigation will take months, and those who protested the government should expect to be harassed by police, have their bank accounts suspended, and be thrown in jail over that time.
If you are involved in this protest, we will actively look to identify you and follow up with financial sanctions and criminal charges. Absolutely. This investigation will go on for months to come.
Even with the ostensibly Democratic government cracking down on the protesters, the truckers are not backing away. By remaining peaceful, even in the face of increasing state violence, they have awakened a deeper criticism of the Canadian government around the world. The hashtag Blackface Hitler began trending in response to the violent crackdowns, a reference to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's unknown numbers of photos in blackface. While remaining non-violent, protesters claim that police actions have come without warning.
There was no notice, no nothing. They just came in with full force. There were snipers on the roofs of all of our Parliament buildings. This is absolutely disgusting what has gone on. I cannot believe that I am seeing this on Canadian soil.
However, despite the crackdown and government targeting of anyone involved for personal destruction, protesters remain buoyed by the love of their fellow citizens. According to them, just because the government is trying to force them away doesn't mean they are going to leave. In fact, they are more determined now than ever before to hold the line, knowing just how powerful their calls for freedom have been, not just in Canada, but around the world.
I think that with the word getting out all over the world and the other convoys in all the different countries, we have started something here. This is not over.
Sam Volk, One America News.
Alright guys, that's the end of the video, and that is fascism. This is the foundation of what the Great Reset really is. It is about control of the human populace. And the only way they can do that is by a social credit score. And if you do something the government doesn't like, they'll shut down your bank account and keep you from being able to pretty much live. You won't be able to buy food. You won't be able to drive your car because you can't afford gas because you don't have money for gas, so on and so forth. Not only that, they'll go after your insurance, whether it be medical or even driving insurance. And they're planning on doing this to companies too, like oil companies as well as firearm companies. And they're not going to go after them per se. They'll go after the banks. They'll give them loans. They'll go after insurance companies. They would insure them in order to make it impossible for them to do business and to operate. That's how they're going to get around the Second Amendment, and that's how they're going to try to change the energy industry throughout the world. That is the plan of the elites. And it's all in the name of supposedly equity and the idea that everybody should be the same. Well, life's not like that. Not everybody's going to be the same. Now, there's this one guy named Thomas Sowell, who I'm a big fan of, said, equality, how you have equality between two people. They come from different circumstances, different areas of the world living in, and so on and so forth. When you can't have equality between two siblings, they come from the same household, same family, same parents. How you get, when you can't get equality there, how you get equality from people that come from different backgrounds? The fact is you can't. What the left is looking for isn't equality, it's equity, which would be controlled by a higher power, which would be the government, in their opinion. That kind of thinking is not the way America was founded. That is a Marxist thought or a Marxist belief. And it won't fit with the American dream. It certainly won't fit with the Constitution or anything else in the United States that made the United States the way it is. That includes our economic system. But guys, that's my opinion. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. Peace.